Peace, power, and prosperity to my beautiful family. This is Metaphysical Minister, Ordained Metaphysical Minister Corbin reporting live. The date is November the 6th, 2024. No matter where you are in time, as you are watching this video, the date of me making this video is November the 6th, 2024, approximately 1:28 Eastern Time on the Western civilization. My family, welcome to the Cosmic Christ University. This is the home of the esoteric and metaphysical knowledge. For those who are the elite enlightened ones, my spiritual family who've been rocking with this university for quite some times, this presentation is kind of going to put everything that we ever talked about in one presentation for us to come together and decipher this out ourselves. Remember, we are the Bible now. We are the Bible now. We are the prophets. We are the seers. We are the magi's. We are the Christ consciousness beings now in this quantum world. I'm about to read some very important higher consciousness information. I'm going to put out a disclaimer now at 1 minute, going on 2 minutes. You see the title before I do. I'm going to put a disclaimer. If you are not ready for higher knowledge, click out this video right now. I'm just giving you a disclaimer. If you are not ready or think you cannot mentally take higher knowledge, then just exit out this video now, and I totally understand. But if you are ready for higher knowledge right now, and you think you can handle what is about to be said to you, that is going to be explaining more about who you are and who Yeshua, who you call Jesus, was and is, then get ready for a ride. Once again, if you are ready for a higher knowledge, then let's get ready to go. I do have the car running. I got the AC going. Like I said, this is a very important presentation, so I want to make sure I'm very comfortable presenting this to you. Cosmic archetypes and quantum paradigms. Yeshua, Saturn, and the intersection of mystical and scientific thought. I don't know if the title is going to be that, but this is going to be the main thesis of what we're talking about. And if you're ready for that conversation, if you're ready to get reeled in with this conversation, to get ready for a nice ride. Once again, conversation, a presentation of this evening, cosmic archetypes. And if you don't know what archetypes is, before I go in, Google archetypes, Archetypes. Carl Jung told you and taught about archetypes, cosmic archetypes, and quantum paradigms. Yeshua, which is the original, the true, the real name of who the Greeks and who you people that go to church and our folks that go to church call Jesus. Saturn, and an intersection of mystical and scientific thought. Once again, disclaimer. If you're not ready to reach higher knowledge now in the age of the quantum world, in the age of the Aquarian age and epoch, then please exit this video now. As we go further, we will be giving our people their spiritual power back. Hit the like button, tell a friend to tune in. Welcome to the Cosmic Christ University, the home of the esoteric and metaphysical knowledge. I am our ordained metaphysical minister Corbin. You ready? The intersection of mystical and scientific thought offers profound insights into the nature of existence, control, and liberation. This paper explores these concepts through the archetypes of Saturn and Yeshua, who is also known as Jesus, which represents cosmic forces of limitation and transcendence. I'm going to read that part in completion. This paper explores these concepts through the archetypes of Saturn and Yeshua, which we know as Jesus, which represents cosmic forces of limitation and transcendence, respectively. In various religions, traditions, Saturn symbolizes time, structure, and constraint. Think about what we learned in school and science about the planets and the planetary powers and how they gave us the names of the planets. And there are certain powers that they held. We are focusing on Saturn at this time. So listen up. Saturn symbolizes time, structure, and constraint. Constraint. Think about that as we go into this presentation. Saturn symbolizes time, structure, and constraint, while Yeshua is seen as a liberator from spiritual and earthly bonds. Modern quantum mechanics similar deals with the tension between collective and individual states, with particles often behaving collectively under certain conditions, mirroring the archetypal cosmic order Saturn represents. Family, we're talking as above, so below, as within, so without. So I'm going to read that once again in its entirety. Saturn symbolizes time, structure, and constraint, while Yeshua is seen as a liberator from spiritual and earthly bonds. Modern quantum mechanics similarly deals with the tension between collective and individual states, with particles often behaving collectively under certain conditions, mirroring the archetypal cosmic order Saturn represents. At the same time, particles can break free from this collective state, resembling now Yeshua's role as a force of liberation. By examining how these ancient archetypes align with modern scientific paradigms, particularly in quantum behavior, we uncover deeper connections between spirituality and science, offering a holistic understanding of both. This integration suggests that ancient mystical wisdom and modern physics may ultimately address the same fundamental questions of existence. Now, I'm going to stop there. I want us to stop. When I do a presentation like this, I want us to stop and think. Ponder about what I just said. Think about the times we're going on. The title of this is called Cosmic Archetypes and Quantum Paradigms. Yeshua, who we know as Jesus, Saturn, and an intersection of mystical and scientific thought. So far, they told us that Saturn symbolizes time, structure, and constraint, bondage. We are reaching a time where those who felt like they were stuck in or being stagnant in bondage are now greeting and embracing the liberator within them. But let's keep on going. It was continue now. I want to thank you guys for watching. This is going to be a very news-breaking presentation. I promise you I'm going to most likely have to do a part 2, but I'm going to give you 45 to an hour today. We haven't even got started, so thank you for your patience. Let's keep going. Key words here are Saturn, Yeshua, quantum mechanics, archetypes, collective behavior, mysticism, spiritual liberation, metaphysics, cosmic control, quantum flat bands, religious symbolism, consciousness, sacred geometry, Gnosticism, Kabbalah, spiritual transcendence, duality, quantum consciousness. If all of these I said are not in your vocabulary as of now, if they haven't been, then I urge you to make these words in your vocabulary. Let's keep on going. You ready? How you guys doing out there? I haven't even got warmed up yet. I promise you. Throughout human history, there has been a profound and enduring search to understand the fundamental nature of the universe and humanity's place within it. Mystical traditions and scientific inquiry have both served as pathways in this quest for knowledge, each offering unique frameworks for interpreting the cosmos. In recent years, as modern science has pushed the boundaries of what is physically knowable, a curious alignment has begun to emerge between ancient archetypes found in religious and esoteric traditions and the abstract principles governing quantum mechanics. Yes, we're about to talk about AI too as we go further into this presentation and the next, because artificial intelligence plays a good role. I had an idea and a feeling when I started hearing and seeing about AI that this is what it was, but you're going to get proof of really what AI is. But I'm going to read this, and things like AI are. So let me read this again slowly so you can understand. And thank you for watching. This is news breaking right here. To some and to many. Throughout human history, there has been a profound and enduring search to understand the fundamental nature of the universe and humanity's place within it. Listen. Mystical traditions and scientific inquiry have both served as pathways in this quest for knowledge, each offering unique frameworks for interpreting the cosmos. In recent years, as modern science has pushed the boundaries of what is physically knowable, a curious alignment has begun to emerge between, listen family, ancient archetypes found in religious and esoteric traditions and the abstract principles governing quantum mechanics. These connections suggest that the wisdom of the past may offer new perspectives for interpreting the realities of the present, particularly in how they pertain to universal structure and the nature of existence itself. I am so glad that we are doing this presentation because we're about to see a lot of magical, mystic, unexplainable stuff throughout, and we're seeing it now with AI. But understand, these are the archetypes. These are the beings, the spiritual beings that were at the time of the Bible and before. We're talking about Persia, Mithra. This is about to get real. Are you with me today? Let's continue on. We're only in 12 minutes, family. Hit the like button if you're rocking with it. This paper seeks to explore the intersection of mystical archetypes, particularly those of Saturn and Yeshua, who we know as Jesus, with concepts found in quantum mechanics, such as collective behavior and the synchronization of particles in quantum states. Where are my scientists in here? By examining how these ancient figures, one representing limitation and cosmic order, which is Saturn, and the other symbolizing liberation and transcendence, Yeshua, align with modern scientific thought, we can uncover deep insights into the nature of the universe and human consciousness. Let's keep on reading. Yeshua, traditionally regarded by Christians as the Messiah, was not only a religious figure with Second Temple Judaism, but also a cosmic symbol of liberation. Let me read this again for those who may not know this. Yeshua, or the one that you call Jesus, traditionally regarded by Christians as the Messiah, was not only a religious figure within Second Temple Judaism, but also a cosmic symbol of liberation. His influence transcends religious boundaries, and many regard his teaching as challenging both physical and spiritual limitations. Similarly, Saturn often represents as the archetypal force of time, structure, and death, governs the constraints that bind individuals and societies to material existence. Now, if you guys know anything about Gnostics, knows anything about the Lost Gospels, know anything about the Nag Hammadi that was discovered around 1945, 1947, I do believe 1945 in Cairo, Egypt. The story is told backwards, but I've done a lot of videos and you can watch them on this, but I want to just keep it on this. Yeshua, traditionally regarded by Christians as the Messiah, was not only a religious figure within Second Temple Judaism, but also a cosmic symbol of liberation. His influence transcends religious boundaries, and many regard his teachings as challenging both physical and spiritual limitations. Similarly, Saturn, which you can call Satan, the true Satan, Saturn often represents as the archetypal force of time, structure, and death, governs the constraints that bind individuals and society to material existence. You are now hearing the truth that really binds you to this planet, and it has a connection with Saturn. A lot of the ancient ones already knew this. that Saturn, the planet Saturn, plays almost like a father disciplinary role. It's kind of a love, it's kind of a duality with Saturn. You can't fully call it evil of what it's doing to us. Maybe though in a sense it maybe is, but you can also call it love and tough love in another sense. What Saturn has done to keep us here and restrain us here and keep us here in bondage. And what Christ represents is that liberator that has come for his brethren and his brothers and sisters to free them, to let them know that they are truly divine. Only they have to do is go within and they will find the liberator within themselves. So Saturn is what bonds us here, or what has until this time held us bondage. But now Christ is coming, the true liberator within us all, to set us free. Similarly, Saturn often represents as the archetypal force of time, structure, and death, governs the constraints that binds individuals and societies to material existence. Let's keep reading. These two figures, one a liberator and the other a cosmic ruler of limitations, offer compelling parallels to phenomena in quantum mechanics. Let's read that again. These two figurators, Saturn or Satan, and Christ, the liberator. These two figures, one a liberator and the other a cosmic ruler of limitations, offer compelling parallels to phenomena in quantum mechanics, such as electronic flat bands. Now, family, we have research to do. You have research to do. Research electronic flat bands. This is where particles behave collectively, constrained in a specific state akin to the Saturn or Saturnian archetype of control. Conversely, when particles escape these constraints and enter more dynamic states, they resonate with the liberating aspect of Yeshua. See, I'm a person that make music. I love music. I love listening to music, especially the old school music. But there's a certain generation now that must become scientists, astrophysicists. They must understand quantum, because the new generation and ourselves, we need to study these things as well. But the next generation who's going to catch on to quantum mechanics, quantum physics, string theory, all these type of supersonic scientific discoveries and theories, they're going to be the new generation that's going to give us more proof of what Christ was saying. Let me keep on going. Now, thank y'all for watching. Similarly, Saturn often represents as an archetypal force of time, structure, and death, governs the constraint that binds individuals and societies to material existence. These two figures, one a liberator and the other a cosmic ruler of limitation, offer compelling parallels to phenomena in quantum mechanics, such as electronic flat bands, where particles behave collectively, constrained in a specific state akin to the Saturnian archetype of control. Conversely, when particles escape these constraints and enter more dynamic states, they resonate with the liberating aspect of Yeshua. Let's keep on going. The Jewish position, or the juxtaposition of these two archetypes, presents a fascinating lens through which to view both physical and metaphysical realities. Saturn's archetype represents control, structure, and confinement, echoing the scientific principles of particles bound in collective quantum states, while Yeshua's archetype symbolizes freedom, transcendence, and breaking away from constraints. This contrast forms a cosmic dialectic that reflects the tension between materiality and spirituality, limitations and freedom, much like the tension in quantum mechanics between determinism and uncertainty. Y'all all right out there? If y'all learn a little something, click the like button. This is Cosmic Christ University. This is a place where the students and the masters come together and we all learn from one another. Thus, the purpose of this paper is to explore how these ancient mystical figures and their associated symbolism relate to modern scientific ideas. So all the ancient spiritual figures that we heard, that we learned about, and that we knew about from biblical stories or from the Upanishads or from the Gita, They are now making their way through artificial technology and through modern technology. This is where we're getting at right here. This is powerful information. Thus, the purpose of this paper is to explore how these ancient mystical figures and their associated symbolism relate to modern scientific ideas. Through an interdisciplinary approach, we will delve into how the archetypes of Saturn as the controlling forces of the cosmos parallels the collective behavior of particles, and how Yeshua's, just Jesus, who you call Jesus, how Yeshua's role as a liberator connects to quantum states that defy constraints, leading to the phenomena like superconductivity and unique forms of magnetism. These parallels offer a new way of thinking about the universe, one that bridges the metaphysical and the physical, the ancient and the modern. And if we have some scientists who understand quantum physics a little more than most do, speak up. Because if you're in quantum physics and you study quantum mechanics right now, speak up, because now you are going to be the ones, especially with a right heart and a right pure heart, that's going to help teach the new generation and lead us to the new liberation of Christ. This paper explores the intersections of mystical thought and scientific paradigms, particularly through Yeshua, Saturn, and quantum mechanics. We will examine how ancient archetypes parallel modern scientific concepts such as collective quantum behavior and universal structure, providing a deeper understanding of both the spiritual and the physical worlds. By investigating these connections, we seek to uncover how the symbolism of constraint and liberation resonates in both ancient wisdom and contemporary scientific thought, offering new insights into the nature of existence. Through this exploration, we aim to show that science and spirituality, often viewed as separate realms, might be deeply interconnected, both pointing to similar fundamental truths about the universe and human existence. And I want to stop there and I want to read that because that is very important. Through the exploration, we aim to show that science and spirituality, often viewed as separate realms, might be deeply interconnected, both pointing to similar fundamental truths about the universe and the human existence. How are you guys doing out there? For those who've been rocking with me for over 4 years, you know I have this channel right here, but I have another channel called the Darius Corbin channel. This is the Cosmic Christ University right here. That used to be the Darius Corbin Mystery School, but the mystery is over. So now we have a universe where everybody can come and learn. But what I'm saying is I had a channel called, and I do have a channel still called Darius Corbin channel. Look up that video. You see the beginning of my teaching stages and my metaphysical stages. And I do believe on that channel or this channel, I talk a lot about the Gnostics, the Nag Hammadi, the Demiurge, Yaldabaoth, and the Archons. So if you don't know, especially as a theologian or anybody that may be in the congregation, if you never heard of Yaldabaoth, who is the Demiurge, who is the God in the Bible that tells the people to do these disrespectful and foul and anti-woman things, that's Yaldabaoth, or Samuel, the blind God. And he has archons or goonies that does his work. He is the creator of what they call the fake matrix. The original matrix is the Divine Mother matrix. But I don't want to go outside of this presentation. I just want to give you a quick recap or cap on or facts, Snapple facts about who the archons are, Archons, before I go in. So how y'all doing out there? Y'all good? Hit the like button, leave a comment. We family. Whether you want to admit it or not, we are brothers and sisters of Christ. Some of you are Luciferian beings, but still, we are all one. Saturn as Archon, archetypal ruler of time, death, and limitation. Our next stage of conversation is Saturn as Archon. That is Archon. There are many Archons. I do believe in my studies, when Enoch talks about the Watchers, he is talking about the Archons. When you look at the non-canonical Gospels, They talk about the archons, who were with the Yadabrov character, who you mostly call God in your Bible, who is not the true God. The true God is within you. But let's keep on reading. Saturn, also known as Cronus, for my Greek mythologists out there who know about Greek mythology, Saturn, also known as Cronus, and you know Cronus has a lot to do and deal with time. But remember, let's keep our knowledge enlightening, let's keep our knowledge knowing, let's keep going with knowledge. Saturn, also known as Cronus in Greek mythology, has long been recognized as a symbol of time, death, and limitation in various religious and esoteric traditions. In Roman mythology, Saturn was revered as the god of agriculture and time, representing the cyclical nature of life and death. However, in many mystical and spiritual frameworks, Saturn's role expands far beyond the literal passages of time, embodying the metaphysical forces that impose structure, control, and ultimately the boundaries of physical reality. Yeah, I know the AC's on in the back. I know you guys, and I want you guys to hear me now. So many people have questions about their life. Why am I here? What's the meaning of life? What is God? And that noise you hear in the background is my engine about to cut off. It does that. But these are questions that we have. When you get the answer, or when you're led to the path of your questions, some people seem to get shook a little bit because it don't sound like what you want to hear. Sounds a little fantasy, like we're in Harry Potter or something. But where do you think they get it from? What do you think they get it from? Let's read that again. In Roman mythology, Saturn was revered as the god of agriculture and time, representing the cyclical nature of life and death. However, in many mystical and spiritual frameworks, Saturn's role expands far beyond the literal passages of time, embodying the metaphysical forces that impose structure, control, and ultimately, let's get some cool breeze in here, and ultimately, the boundaries of physical reality. In Gnostic tradition, Saturn is often depicted as an archon. Once again, if you are a preacher, a bishop, a reverend, popes, I would dare not even say that you wouldn't know what an archon are. But if you are a preacher, and I'm being dead serious, guys, at 27 minutes. If you are a preacher, a bishop, a reverend, a pastor, any theologian who has never, first of all, read the Nag Hammadi scriptures, which are the lost gospels, which are the non-canonical gospels, and you never heard of the Gnostics, and you never heard of the archons, then you might want to retire your ministry badge. You just might. Because this is why I say that we are spiritually behind, because you're worrying about the so-called devil, and there are so many spiritual dimensional beings that are trying to feed off of you and harvest off you because you're not in tune with the one Christ God that is within you. Let's keep on going. In Gnostic tradition, Saturn is often depicted as an archon, a powerful cosmic entity that governs the material world. So to my church people who may see me on Facebook, and you know that I'm a minister, or you may be watching this for the first time, there's a spiritual history, not his story, but a spiritual history of who you are that your churches did not want you to know about. Because how are they going to explain this to you? Beings from another planet, you being from another planet, how are they going to break this down for you in those days? How did you have the consciousness to understand it back in those days? I think some of you have the consciousness now. So I've done this for over 3 to 4 years as far as YouTube-wise, where I broke down the Gnostics. Those who know me and this channel know that this is what I do. But even with that being said, there needs to be a revamp or a reintroduction. So once again, in Gnostic tradition, Saturn is often depicted as an archon, Archon, a powerful cosmic entity that governs the material world, this world. The archons in Gnosticism are intermediaries between the human realm and divine, often seen as oppressive rulers who prevent the soul from ascending to higher spiritual planes. Saturn, as an archon, epitomizes the idea of cosmic control, where time and death are instruments of limitation imposed on human existence. And I have to stop because, as a Christ consciousness being, as an ordained metaphysical minister, as I'm reading, I can feel your energy as well. And some of you are asking a question, so I do want to answer that for you. Yes, and we're talking about that light at the end of the tunnel, what people talk about when you die. Yes, the archons. You go to the archons. It has been told, it has been said that end of the light, when you go and enter the light, or some people say don't enter the light. That light is where you're greeted by the archons. So it is said. So let's keep on going. I know some people had that question. I just wanted to let you know that I'm with you and you're with me. Saturn as an archon epitomizes the idea of cosmic control, where time and death are instruments of limitation imposed on human existence. That part. Yeah, I'm just taking my time because I want to make sure that you're listening as a listener and as a master and as a student and as an honoree in the Cosmic Christ University. Because you got to share this information with somebody you love. Choose wisely. I'm going to read that part again. I'm going to continue going on. And of course, there's going to be a part 2. There'll probably be a part 3 as well. In Gnostic tradition, Saturn is often depicted as an archon, a powerful cosmic entity that governs the material world. The archon in Gnosticism are intermediaries between the human realm and the divine, often seen as oppressive rulers who prevent the soul from ascending to higher spiritual planes. Saturn as an archon epitomizes the idea of cosmic control, where time and death are instruments of limitation imposed on human existence. Saturn's archetype governs the material world through rigid laws, boundaries, and inescapable decay, symbolizing the inherited limits of the physical realm. This resonates with the Gnostic view of the cosmos, where the material world is often seen as a prison. How many of you out there, be honest with yourself, you are my brothers and sisters, so don't ever get it twisted, have for a while feel like you have been in a prison in this planet, feel like you have been bound, feel like you know that you have wings but haven't been able to fly? Be honest with yourself. I am now breaking down and giving and explaining the reason why. It's not just you. And that's why if you watch my videos, I explain that to you. That it's your mind. You must use your mind to liberate yourself. And once you do that, you will be one with the Christ that is within you, because they can do whatever to with the flesh to a certain degree. But the soul is all powerful. Oh, this is a very powerful presentation. I thank you for watching. Oh, this is a very powerful presentation. Saturn as an archon epitomizes the idea of cosmic control, where time and death are instruments of limitation imposed on human existence. Saturn's archetype governs the material world through rigid laws, boundaries, and inescapable decay, symbolizing the inherent limits of the physical realm. This resonates with the Gnostic view of the cosmos, where the material world, this world, is often seen as a prison, with Saturn as one of the wardens enforcing its constraints. Don't be afraid to leave a comment. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Some of you don't go to church for that reason, because you feel like you can't ask your preachers and your reverends and your theologians, these fairies, and to these Sadducees. You can ask these people the questions, but you can ask the questions here. In a Kabbalistic thought, Saturn is linked to the Sephirah of Bina on the Tree of Life, representing understanding, structure, and boundaries. Bina is that Sephirah that brings form and definition to the limitless potential of the higher realms, thus introducing limitation and structure into existence. Some of you out there are understanding this perfectly, and you are connecting all the puzzle pieces together now. And this is why I do this for you, for us. I'm going to read that part again. In Kabbalistic thought, Saturn is linked to the Sephirah of Bina on the Tree of Life. Listen. Which represents understanding, structure, and boundaries. Listen. Bina is the Sephirah that brings form and definition to the limitless potential of the highest realms. We are the limitless potential of the higher realms. Bina brought form to us. Listen to this. And definition. Thus introducing now, my family, limitation and structure into existence. Saturn, therefore, is not only a symbol of death and decay, but also of creation through limitation. Welcome to the Cosmic Christ University. Christ is within you. Stop being hard on yourself. Stop being negative on yourself. I don't care who's watching. I don't care how tough you think you are or how fragile you think you may be. You are more than somebody. You are a divine being. This information is given to you now to regain, and I guess regain, because I am planting a seed for you to understand that you are powerful and have always been. Use your power for good. Use your power for you and the rest of the world. Saturn, therefore, is not only a symbol of death, family, not only a symbol of death and decay, but also of creation through limitation. The idea that boundaries are necessary for the manifestation of order. This is what I was telling you earlier about that good and bad that comes with Saturn, that father discipline. So let me read this again. Therefore, Saturn, therefore, is not only a symbol of death and decay, but also a creation through limitation. The idea that boundaries are necessary for the manifestation of order. Without Saturn's influence, the formless would never take shape. Creation itself requires the imposition of limits, whether in the form of physical laws or the linear flow of time. My beautiful people watching, I guess in layman terms, we all can agree that what it is saying is pressure could either bust pipes or make diamonds. Is that what you're hearing too? That's what I'm hearing. This duality of Saturn as both a force of creation and destruction mirrors the cosmic balance of life and death, order and chaos, freedom and constraint. And the archetypal ruler of these forces, Saturn, governs the cycle that all things must adore to from the rise and fall of civilization to the birth and death of stars. His influence is felt not only in the natural world, but in the metaphysical realms as well, where Saturn symbolizes the inescapable nature of fate and the laws that govern the universe. I'd like to stop a little bit and check on my family now. This is part one. Imagine what part two is going to be talking about. And you see the title already. Let's go on to the next one. The Black Cube and Cosmic Order. The Black Cube and Cosmic Order. The symbol of the black cube is often associated with Saturn. You guys know that one TikTok video where they got the J. Cole song playing, She Knows, and there's like that cool white guy, he's like, oh, he's making all these facial expressions. Oh. Shout out to that brother, by the way, too. But let's read that again. The symbol of the black cube is often associated with Saturn. She knows. She knows. She knows. Black cube. The symbol of the black cube is often associated with Saturn in esoteric traditions. This geometric figure represents cosmic order, rigidity, and the boundaries that define existence. The cube is a stable, solid structure. Its 6 faces and 12 edges embodying the concept of physical and metaphysical strength. In mystical traditions, the black cube represents the material plane, the realm of physical reality where time, space, and limitation dominate. She knows. She knows. She knows. It is a symbol of the prison of matter. A space where the soul is bound by the laws of nature, much like the cube's rigid geometry restricts movement and expansion. Wow. Cube, black cube, symbolize religion. Black cube. Huh. Anyway, where was I? The symbol of the black cube is often associated with Saturn. In esoteric traditions, this geometric figure represents cosmic order, rigidity, and the boundaries that define existence. The cube is a stable, solid structure. Its 6 faces and 12 edges embodying the concept of physical and metaphysical constraint. In mystical traditions, the black cube represents the material plane, the realm of physical reality, where time, space, and limitation dominate. It is a symbol of the prison of matter, a space where the soul is bound by the laws of nature, much like the cube's rigid geometry restricts movement and expansion. Saturn's association with the black cube is especially prevalent in Western occult traditions. Here, the cube becomes a symbol of the fundamental structures of the universe, the invisible scaffolding upon which reality is built. In alchemical and hermetic texts, the black cube is often linked to the concept of primia material. Primia material, which is ironic because without even knowing, my album, I know music, but I do have an album that I'm working on because I love music and I've been doing it and I'm able now to bring metaphysics into my music. But my album, I call that album Premia Materia. And it'll be coming about around December, but I'm not promoting, it's just ironic. Premia Materia, Primamateri. Seriously, look up that word. The primordial substance from which all things are created is Premia Materia. The primordial substance from which all things are created is what Premia Materia is. Shaped by the laws of nature that Saturn governs. The cube's blackness also invokes the mystery of the void, the formless chaos from which Saturn draws the raw material to impose order. In contemporary esotericism, excuse me, in contemporary exotism, in contemporary esotericism, the black cube has come to represent the limitation of the material world, a recurring theme in both spiritual and metaphysical traditions. The image of being, and I quote, trapped in the cube evokes the sense of being confined by the physical laws of the universe, unable to break free from the cycles of time, decay, and death that Saturn enforces. The idea aligns with the broader concept of cosmic control, where Saturn, as the ruler of time and materiality, ensures that everything within the physical universe adheres to its destined path. The black cube is also significant in Kabbalistic mysticism, where it can be seen as a manifestation of the Sephirah Juvra, and that's spelled Gevurah, which represents strength, discipline, and restriction. In this context, the black cube reflects the need of boundaries and order, the forces that give shape and form to the otherwise chaotic flow of energy from the divine. Jivra, like Saturn, is necessary for the creation of balance and structure in the universe, but it also imposes limits on the soul's ability to transcend the physical realm. You have things that are trying to hold you back from rising to the top. Gotta get your mind right. And I'm going to end part 1 here, because part 1, I'm going to give you a little bit more. And I thank you for watching. But part 1 is just going to give you this is like giving you a great preparation before part 2 hits. Because part 2, we're talking AI, artificial intelligence. We're talking ancient archetypes fusing with modern day technology. It's about to get real. So this is just the beginning. Part 1 is just reeling you in. Because when part 2 hits, we're about to go really deep into some real powerful stuff. So we're going to have at least about 3 or 4 chapters of this. And by the time we are done with all the chapters, woo! You're going to have something to tell your family, your friends, and your associates. So let's finish off with this one. And I thank you for watching and stepping into the Cosmic Christ University. This is the biggest university of our time. The Cosmic Christ University, and you can quote me on this, will be the biggest university of the 21st and 22nd century. Because here at the Cosmic Christ University, you'll be able to get your higher learning the way and at the speed that you like. Saturn's role as the archetypal enforcer of cosmic order and limitation finds a fascinating parallel in the realm of quantum mechanics, particularly in the behavior of particles in collective states. In quantum systems, particles such as electrons can become trapped in electronic flat bands, a state where their individual energy levels are the same, forcing them to behave as a collective whole rather than independent entities. In this flat band state, particles lose their individual anatomy, much like how Saturn imposes cosmic control over the flow of time and matter, ensuring that all things adhere to the same cosmic order. The behavior of the particles in flat band systems can be linked to the way Saturn governs the material universe. In both cases, individual components are subject to a high-order structure that limits their freedom and constrains their behavior. In quantum physics, the collective behavior can lead to exotic phenomena such as superconductivity and magnetism, where particles work together in a perfectly coordinated state. Saturn's influence as an archetypal force ensures that all things within the cosmos adhere to a fixed structure order, even as its order allows for the emergence of complex systems and phenomena. I'm going to give you 10 more minutes at least. The parallel between Saturn's archetypal role and the behavior of particles in quantum physics suggests a deeper metaphysical connection between mystical thought and scientific understanding. Just as Saturn symbolizes the imposition of limits and structure, so too do the laws of quantum mechanics govern the behavior of particles, ensuring that they act in accordance with the overarching principles of the universe. This collective behavior in which individual autonomy is surrendered to the greater cosmic order mirrors the role that Saturn plays in mystic traditions as the enforcer of fate, time, and death. In both realms, mystical and scientific, the notion of collective states emphasizes the tension between individuality and the greater whole, between freedom and constraint, whether in the physical world, where electrons are bound by the laws of quantum mechanics, or in the metaphysical world, where Saturn rules as the archon of time and limitation. The same fundamental principle applies. The universe operates according to the fixed laws, and all things, whether particles or souls, are ultimately bound by these laws. We're going to leave off. I told you I'm going to do an hour flat, maybe an hour or two, but we're going to leave off amazing. Don't you worry about it. We're going to leave off amazing. In summary, Saturn as an archetype represents the cosmic force of limitation and structure, which finds its reflection not only in mystical tradition, but also in the behavior of particles in collective quantum states. The black cube, as a symbol of Saturn cosmic control, represents the boundaries of physical reality, where time, space, and matter are governed by fixed laws. This archetypal symbolism offers a profound parallel to the collective behavior of particles in quantum mechanics, where individual entities lose their autonomy and act in accordance with a higher cosmic order, just as Saturn governs the cycles of life, death, and time. Let's keep on going. Quantum mechanics and mysticism, the hive mind concept. The hive mind concept. Quantum flat bands and collective behavior. In the world of quantum mechanics, there is a fascinating phenomenon known as quantum flat bands, where the individual behavior of particles like electrons ceases to exist independently, and instead they become synchronized into which can be described as a hive mind state. In this state, the particles share the same energy level and are forced to behave collectively, resulting in a profound loss of individual autonomy. This synchronized behavior leads to remarkable quantum effects such as superconductivity, where electrical resistance drops to zero, and unusual magnetism, where particles align in perfectly coordinated patterns. Quantum flat bands occur in systems where the energy levels of electrons are flattened out, quote, end quote, flattened out, meaning that all particles share the same energy level. This is often achieved through specific configurations in materials such as twisted bilayer graphene, where the physical arrangement of atoms causes the electrons to settle in the collective state. When electrons are trapped in a flat band, they can no longer act as individual particles with distant energies, but must instead conform to a collective behavior governed by the larger structure of the material. This phenomenon is strikingly similar to a certain mystical and esoteric tradition that emphasizes unity, collective consciousness, and the dissolution of individuality. In many mystical traditions, the goal of spiritual practice is to transcend the ego, to lose the sense of being a separate, independent entity, and to merge with a greater whole. This state of oneness, where individuality dissolves and the self becomes one with the universe or the divine, mirrors the behavior of particles in quantum flat bands. Just as electrons lose their autonomy and act as part of a larger quantum system, so too does the individual soul lose its sense of separation and becomes part of the cosmic whole and mystical experience. 54 minutes. We were at 54 minutes, going on 55. One such mystical tradition is Sufism. For those who don't know George Gurdjieff, Gurdjieff, philosopher but all full of Sufism. Look at him. Study him, George Gurdjieff. One such mystical tradition is Sufism, the esoteric branch of Islam, where the ultimate spiritual goal is to annihilate the self in the presence of God, a concept known as fana, or fani, F-A-N-A. In this state, the individual no longer experiences a sense of separate identity, but becomes one with the divine, much like how particles in a flat band system lose their individual characteristics and merge into a collective state. Similarly, in Buddhism, the concept of anatta, A-N-A-T-T-A, or non-self, teaches that the individual self is an illusion, or maya, and that the true enlightenment comes from realizing the interconnectedness of all things. This mirrors the way in which electrons in a quantum flat band system are no longer distinguishable as individual entities, but are instead part of a unified quantum whole. This collective behavior seen in quantum flat bands can thus be interpreted as a physical representation of mystical tradition that emphasizes unity and oneness in both quantum mechanics and mysticism. There is a tension between individuality and the greater whole. In quantum flat bands, particles are bound by a collective energy state, just as in mystical tradition, individuals are bound by the cosmic laws that govern the universe. In both cases, there is a dissolution of the individual ego or identity in favor of a larger collective existence. Now, we're going to end here. We're definitely going to end here. The cult of the black cube and hive mind. Once again, the cult of the black cube and the hive mind. And this is where we're going to end here. Whew. It's been a whirl. It's been a beautiful one, y'all. Thank y'all for rocking with me. The black cube, as discussed in section 1, is a powerful symbol of constraint, limitation, and cosmic control. In mystical and esoteric tradition, the black cube represents the material plane, the realm of physical reality where the soul is bound by the laws of time, space, and matter. It is a symbol of the prison of matter where the individual is constrained by the boundaries of physical existence. The symbolism of the black cube extends naturally to the realm of quantum mechanics, where the behavior of particles in collective states mirrors the themes of collective control and the loss of individual freedom. In quantum mechanics, the behavior of particles in flat bands, or Bose, that's B-O-S-E, Einstein, condensates, another form of collective quantum state, can be likened to the metaphysical notion of a hive mind, H-I-V-E, where individuality is subsumed by the collective. When electrons are trapped in a flat band, they act as one, losing their autonomy and freedom, just as individuals in the material plane are bound by the laws of nature that the black cube represents. The cult of the black cube in mystical thought suggests that the material existence is a form of imprisonment where souls are trapped in a system of control, much like how electrons are trapped in a flat band, unable to escape the collective energy state. In esoteric traditions, particularly those with Gnostic influences, the archons or cosmic rulers such as Saturn are seen as the entities that enforce this collective control. The black cube can be interpreted as the physical manifestation of these archons' powers, where the material world is a system of control that traps the soul in a collective state. Just as the electrons in a flat band are forced to act as one, so too are souls in the material plane bound by the laws of space, unable to break free from the cosmic order imposed by the archons. And we're going to end off here. The idea of the hive mind is also present in modern discussions of technology and artificial intelligence. Isn't this an awesome way to end and to get ready to part 2? Yes, it is. Never planned this way, but it just works out this way. Part 2 is going to be amazing. Woohoo! Thank you for watching. Hit the like button. We're here now. Christ consciousness beings. I told you guys are divine beings. Now you have proof. The idea of the hive mind is also present in modern discussions of technology and artificial intelligence, where the loss of individual autonomy is seen as a potential consequence of collective centralized systems of control. The black cube in this context can be seen as a symbol of this technological systems that impose collective behavior on individuals, where the self is dissolved in favor of a large collective intelligence. Wow. Let's think about this before we end this presentation. So what it's saying, and what I'm hearing, that artificial intelligence is a collective consciousness of a particular set or a particular group. Let's read that again. This is getting real. Part 2 is going to get real. Hit the like button if you're ready to see part 2. Leave a comment if you're ready to see part 2. The idea of the hive, H-I-V-E mind, is also present in modern discussions of technology. Listen, and artificial technology. Artificial technology. Well, no, artificial intelligence. The idea of a hive mind is also present in modern discussions of technology and artificial intelligence. Here's why. Where the loss of individual autonomy is seen as a potential consequence, of collective centralized systems of control. The black cube in this context can be seen as a symbol of the technological systems that impose collective behavior on individuals, where the self is dissolved in favor of a larger collective intelligence. AI doesn't know itself. It runs off of a collective intelligence. AI cannot know itself because of the lack of soul. So it is a collective intelligence. This modern interpretation aligns with the mystical notion of the black cube as a symbol of collective control, extending the concept from the spiritual and metaphysical realms into the realm of technological and quantum systems. In the quantum realm, the collective behavior of particles in flat bands or other condensed states represents a physical manifestation of the same principles of collective control and unity seen in the mystical symbolism of the black cube. Particles that are trapped in a collective state lose their freedom to act independently, just as souls in the material plane are bound by the cosmic laws of the time and matter. The parallel suggests that the principles governing quantum systems may have deeper metaphysical implications, where the collective behavior of particles reflects the cosmic order that mystical traditions have long sought to understand. And we're going to stop there, because this is about to get funky. I've been telling you for video after video about this quantum thing. I've been telling you video and video about this quantum world, the quantum metaphysics, and this light that is now hitting the people of this planet. I can't talk too much longer. It's time to put action. It's time to make sure that you're prepared and ready for your powers, because they're coming. Just make sure you are ready for them. Until next time, Mr. Corbin, Cosmic Grace University. We're here.